And we're live. We're live.
Replica.
Hello,
Okay,
everybody. Today we are
Oh,
finishing the Centero saga, and he
yeah,
believes the prequels cannot be good for some reason.
yeah, not just the Star Wars prequels, but every prequels from Hobbit to the Fantastic Beasts to even Bumblebee, which it's bullshit because Bumblebee is not a prequel; it's a reboot.
Of course,
True.
there's a reboot, but he doesn't.
Yes,
really
but
give a shit.
but it's a running gag for me.
All right. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's get started. Let's play, or do I need to?
Replica, you
Can
there?
we
This
start?
feels a little sloppy. The Clone Wars cartoons help make this arc more gradual, but if you haven't seen those, Anakin's arc feels sped up to accommodate where he's supposed to be.
Got him.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what now?
Got him. We're gonna
Can we
begin.
just?
All right. He says he's got him. All right.
Can
So no. Anakin's arc. Anakin's arc is not sped up. The reason that you think it is, again, is because there's so much shit going on in Revenge of the Sith. And if you're not able to follow anything going on in that movie, then there's no point in watching any Star Wars movie.
All right, I'm in the call. When is the stream beginning?
It already began.
We already
We're
already
already
started.
live.
All right, hello,
there's-
my name is Replica. This is Yeet. He's one of the guests who appeared on the previous episode.
Okay.
Here we have
No,
Lavian,
no.
who's a pretty recent guy. Everyone will arrive in a few minutes. And obviously we have Devian here. He's awesome. And let's start this shit.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
no,
All right.
man.
Stop.
No.
Replica, we already did it with the Devious and me. We kind of started this stream with.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go even faster then. Let's go.
Be in the
Okay.
original trilogy. Alternatively, many prequels don't seem to know how to get the main character to the spot where they
Don't compare them.
are at the beginning of the original, and therefore give the same arc twice. So,
Oh,
for example,
Valley
at the
Estate.
beginning of A New Hope, Han is a selfish butthole who's gradually softened and learns to care about something bigger than himself. But in Solo, they can't just have him be a selfish jerk for the whole movie. So what do? They make him an altruist.
Okay, so because the writing in that movie is bad, they don't have him be that in the whole movie, and they could very easily have him be that in the whole movie.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
would
mean, all they could have done was just keep his character at least consistent with what he used to be at the beginning of A New Hope, or
maybe
at
we
least
can
make him
maybe
become
in the
that
beginning,
way.
like he adopts an orphan, that orphan dies, and he's cynical towards life or something.
Well, it's like I said it before. Like, there's easy ways to do this. You know, have him be like Luke, like this hopeful, optimistic guy, and then bad shit happens, so he becomes cynical. Like, this is not hard at all.
Yeah, it's so easy. I think the original directors for that series wanted to do that, but Disney didn't let them.
Yep. Well, it's because
Yeah.
the whole movie would be a combination of those Jabba scenes and the Greedo shooting scene, except in different contexts, different ways. And I mean, obviously, a movie about Han Solo would end with a cliffhanger for Episode 4. Like, there's no real way around that. But I mean, just we know this.
I
like,
think the least they could have done, yeah. I
They
think the
could've-
least they could have done is try to at least go to a cliffhanger where he enters Mos Eisley Cantina with Chewbacca, and then Greedo follows shortly after, and then the movie ends.
Most
You know,
pathetic.
just to pick off right where that would.
Probably the most-
Still, I mean,
Probably the most pathetic part of Solo is that they could have, like, the blueprint was right there. They could have just done Indiana Jones in space, but no, that was too hard. It didn't have to be exactly Indiana Jones in space, but seriously, that would have been so easy to do.
True, I mean, that could have been young Indiana Jones. Considering that Harrison Ford played both characters, Han Solo and Indiana Jones, I'd say that'd be pretty fitting. I think that would have been nice, slight space Indiana Jones homage.
I mean, if Indiana Jones is smuggler, he'd pretty much be Han Solo. Like it's, running for his. Having Lupus leave the live stream and forcing me to repeat my dialogue. He always makes a saving throw. He runs for his life. Like Han Solo, he's the type of guy. He just runs and guns, and stopping him is not easy. Like it's, and we could see. The Disney Star Wars movies, they waste so much potential. Do you have any idea? Like, it's a stupid idea to explain it all, but if we would commit to that and actually try and do that, could you imagine just how interesting a movie that could be? Like it's I never liked Han Solo as much as any of the other characters. Like, call me goody two shoes, but I always preferred Luke because he was the good guy. And Han Solo had to be coerced into being a good person. I mean, obviously he becomes it later. That's why I love Han the most in Episode 9. But I mean,
Episode 9.
I mean, Episode 6.
What the fuck is Episode 7? Not kidding.
That is just it's another wasted potential, but it's stupid that he's comparing this to the prequels anyway, because the prequels are good movies, and this is
The prequels did what they were supposed to do.
It's the fact he compares the two shows his lack of understanding. Yep.
Pretty nice dude who in the end decides to do the right thing for something bigger than himself. It's the same arc as A New Hope.
Why the fuck did they decide to have that girl play like a big warrior man?
Yeah,
that's just so fucking skewed. That's out of character.
Why they couldn't make it a Kalish?
It's kind of like Abby in Last of Us 2. She's just way too jacked. That could ever be real.
Well, to not be a tranny, each one.
Yep. She really looks like one of those tranny boxers beating the ever-loving shit out of women.
Kind of like how she even looks baked in that shot, like how you actually paused the actual video. She's just sort of contemplating why the fuck she's even in this movie. Just be physically present for only a few minutes.
I hope especially young actresses like this don't actually think that they are doing something great in the name of women, because they're not, and I would feel really bad for them if they thought they did.
This does not promote women the way you think they should promote women.
Mm-hmm. Let us move on, my friends.
Oh, but without the beginning where he's a selfish jerk. It contradicts the character we originally got and cheapens.
Okay, first off, it doesn't contradict it necessarily, because as much as the movie is terrible, there's still more backstory. There was a sequel they were going to make, which is probably not going to happen now. So it could have still happened in that. Not saying that this origin story was terrible, but you're talking about it. I mean, Han Solo being good before and becoming good late, becoming hardened and then gooder later, that could totally happen. I mean, obviously the bigger problem with the movie is that they make Han Solo a Gary Stu. Well, he got 3 years of training, which at least gives him something, I guess.
All right.
This actually brings up another point that that I actually do agree with Mahler on, is the fact that Han Solo is a Gary Stu, and everything that's given to him, it's just given by other people, like old person's gun. It literally just has a rifle scope from another gun, and he just attaches it to the Mauser pistol just because, well, fuck it, I may as well make some adjustment. Here, have this gun, Han. You know,
I hate
didn't
that.
earn it, but fuck it, you may as well have it anyway. Like
I
how
hate
you got your last name.
I hate that so much. I fucking hate that. So
Everything's
much.
given to him.
I wouldn't even care if he literally got the fucking gun as like a custom thing from an Imperial officer. Like, just make it so that he gets it somehow. No NFL team.
Oh my god, we don't need another one.
Michael.
Michael Henlow.
All right, I'm gonna mute him until he show. Oh, there you are. Hello, Michael. Either join the stream or go away. So.
Okay.
You
guys should switch to debate or something.
What?
Bye.
No. Okay. Fine.
Oh, thank god he's gone.
We need to make.
What
Oh, I see. We're at debate.
What?
Okay. I think we're at the point we did in the last time.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Opens his character arc. It honestly would have been better if we just not seen this origin story and just let our imaginations fill in his backstory.
All right, so listen to me, dickhead. You could have the frickin' origin story. We don't need it, but we could have it, and it could be a good movie. It's not a bad movie because it's a prequel. You fucking. Oh my god.
Story, which is actually my next point, because you are now filling.
The movie is terrible.
We're now filling us in on a backstory of.
I mean, why is he showing The Hobbit? That's not even a prequel. That's like a book. Like this is, if anything, they made The Lord of the Rings first, and then made the previous part. This is not
So a prequel.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, this is kind of like a prequel, but it was made first. Like the book was made first.
I see what you mean.
This is an entirely separate story. Which is also one of the reasons why I feel like the criticism movie is more unfair, because it's a way less well-written book than Lord of the Rings, but yeah. Let's move on.
Of some part of a story we're already familiar with, you are running a very high risk of creating something underwhelming, because odds are your audience has already subconsciously filled in that backstory in their heads.
Stop mixing unfortunate good movies with horrifically bad abominations like fucking Alien Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
they're
are
not the same
comparable.
thing.
I will concede The Hobbit is filled to the brim with flaws, but it's not on that level of bad as Prometheus. Fuck off.
Yeah,
It's not even
The
close.
only thing it really has in common with anything is that they're prequels. That's it. That's the only thing they have in common.
Seriously, we're talking about an 8 out of 10 versus a 2 out of 10 here. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And nothing is going to compare with what the audience.
Okay, I hear a weird echo or
Yeah,
something.
well, the fuck, yeah, all right, who is it?
it's not me. I can guarantee you that.
What?
Kaiser,
I hope it's not me.
Kaiser, put in headphones.
I have
That's
already
definitely not me.
found-
Everybody
It's the-
put in... Wait, well, hold up. Ah! It's Kaiser. Okay.
The fuck is it me?
It's you. I can
I
hear
have
myself.
headphones in. I have headphones in. God damn it. All right, hold on. Let me put this in the other ear.
Don't
All
say
right, try
it.
it again.
Ah!
Well,
Ah! Okay, it's fine now.
okay.
All right. All right. So yeah, I fixed the issue. All right, it's fine. We're good.
Don't
Good
take
job.
those. Don't take those
Good-
sounds out of context, people.
Good job. Good job, Kaiser.
Already
Yes.
has in their minds. Honestly, this
I don't give a shit what people have in their minds. That's not important. The story that's told by
But he's
the
explaining why it can be underwhelming.
is one of the biggest reasons that prequels fail. Years before we got the Star Wars prequels, thousands of kids had already imagined what Darth Vader's fall would look like. They had an image in their head of what the Jedi Order was, and what the Clone Wars were, and how the Force worked. But then when they saw the movie, fans were annoyed by what they saw. Turns out Darth Vader, one of
It doesn't fucking matter.
I,
It is a vision told by someone who made the original trilogy. It doesn't matter.
I mean, fuck me, I would love to see a prequel movie about Qui-Gon.
So would I, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
This is
as Nom said, we don't go to the movies to get our expectations fulfilled.
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like what Robot had said. Like, yeah, I totally went into episode 5 with like a list of things that I want to see happen. Weird
Yeah.
puppet, check. Anakin is Darth Vader is Luke's father, check. I just like it.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, that only goes so far because you can't make Lando what Solo made Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. He made him a robosexual or a pansexual or whatever the fuck he is.
Robot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind if Helena was robosexual, but sadly he fucks the ugly robots.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, he has to. Yeah.
I will ban both of you if you keep talking about it like that.
Sorry, mate.
But all right, fun fact. Did you guys know that Lando was originally supposed to be like a clone from the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I know.
I did not know that.
Like imagine if they did that, then it would be entirely different. But like the idea was that he was a clone that survived, and now he's like the leader of the town because he's a veteran and stuff. Kind of interesting to think about. It would probably explain his cape, but regardless, like it's I mean, he could have still fought in the Clone Wars, but just as himself and not as a clone. But anyway, yeah, it's an. Are there actually references to him in the prequels? I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the next point I have way more to say on, so let's just go there.
One of the greatest villains ever was just a whiny brat before he put on the costume. Turns out the
Him to be? Did you expect him to be like? Did you expect him to be like a robot that was created in order to kill people as a child? Because that would make him. That would be really. That would actually not make sense in terms of lore.
I mean,
If you really wanted that, then just look at General Grievous. I mean, you can have that just by looking at him.
I mean, you can look at the clips in this video and use the clips that he uses, and you just know, like you look at the clips, and when you see the clips, you understand why it's what his perspective is. Like it's. Like, he's not using Anakin in episode 3 when he's matured and way more intimidating. Like,
he's a whiny little clown.
He's using clips from episode 2 as if that's like the end point of his journey. And he's also using clips from like the one scene where he's actually kind of whiny. Like, it's his perspective. I guess it just kind of goes to show, like, he argues for this as to why prequels fail. And he's dead wrong. He's just as wrong as everybody else on it. But obviously he doesn't know that. And this video is just bad.
What people really like to do, in terms of prequels, is to, and this goes especially for the Star Wars prequels, is that they like to take clips out of context and then slant them in their favor, maliciously, as if to say, hey, the prequels are bad. That's it. There's no contest, with this.
Yep.
Stop asking questions.
I don't like sound, and that's it.
Okay, let's go.
The Force is controlled by microscopic creatures and
No, you fucking
No.
moron. They are cells in your body that allow you to utilize the Force energy in your body.
Not to mention that it is based on the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. So really, it is, the powerhouse of the cell that allows people with a high midichlorian count to use the Force.
I need to study.
Once you really think about that,
I need to do a study on the mitochondria. I need to check that out. There's probably some nice details about it, like why are some people stronger than others? Well, because their mitochondria are stronger or some shit. Something like that.
Okay, let's continue. Wait.
No.
Mitochondria
can't
just
get-
make TP, and that's basically it.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
not
let's.
basically, but yeah, I was just trying to explain that too.
And Kaiser left.
Coward.
Force is controlled by microscopic creatures, and Jedi can't get married, and
Sorry
Boba
about
Fett
that.
was a
I kind of froze up. I don't know. what
Boba Fett pajama wearing loser.
Yeah.
we're talking about those people.
Jedi cannot get married. Same old. Except for Kiari Mundi. But that was an exception.
Yes.
Anyway, let's
a
continue.
clone? I grew up watching the Star Wars prequels, so this was all pretty standard for me. None of this felt out of place because
Why are
Okay,
you complaining? You know.
I feel like we've watched this before. Where
we
was the
haven't.
part?
This was
No, we
recent.
have.
didn't grow up with the originals separated from the prequels. But I got a dose of this myself when
Why
I
is it not
saw
playing for
Solo.
me?
Oh, that's the Kessel?
Reset your video. This doesn't compare.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Please don't restart all of this.
I'm telling him to
And
refresh.
that's how Han
Yeah. He's telling me to go back. There you go.
got his gun. That's how he met Chewie. And honestly, what I had already had in my head was better. The same thing happened with The Hobbit. I guess Legolas and Aragorn
Oh boy. What?
Okay,
You know,
so
if I could just like
I
if I could just take the gif of like Luke Skywalker just drinking the green milk with Mahler's voice over it saying, "What the fuck?" You know, I could totally play that.
dude,
right now.
dude, you honestly think that your ideas of what Bilbo's journey would be equivalent to what J.R. Tolkien wrote for The Hobbit? You can make fun of the tiny additions that Peter Jackson did, but those movies are more or less like what The Hobbits are, except with a lot of extra meat thrown on top of it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
you-
basic.
You could not imagine something better. You could not
Yeah,
imagine something better.
Yeah, that's what for me the Hobbit movies are. Basically, the book split in three parts and added more extra stuff from Lord of the Rings. It's basically that.
I mean, come on.
It's
I know that people make fun of this, but
gonna be as close to it.
I mean, come
yeah.
on. Like, I know that it's a little awkward that he's like, go find Aragorn. But I mean, that's the kind of shit. I mean, it could have been done better, but this is not. I need to make a video on why the Hobbit is underrated. It's not quite prequel levels of underrated, but they are underrated films.
I understand.
Let's
Thank God.
let's move on.
are friends because Legolas got his heart broken.
Okay, do you guys think that Ben should go? Because he barely says jack shit.
Shut up.
Not like me.
Continue the video.
Okay, whatever.
And his dad told him to go become friends with Aragorn? I definitely pictured the trolls scene with a lot less snot. And did
Now that's extremely subjective, and this is probably one of the best scenes in the film. So fuck off.
Yeah.
not. And did anyone ever picture Grindelwald as a
Not comparable.
Whatever.
spiky-haired Johnny Depp? And to make matters worse, if you do too good of a job with your prequels, it can
Also, not
Oh,
comparable.
now it's too good.
Oh, now it's too good. Oh, but okay.
look, okay, so the OT is kind of shit compared to the prequels overall. I don't give a shit. Still love them. Fuck off. I mean, prequels are supposed to make the previous movie better. If they're better than the previous movie, then their goodness flows into the other movie and makes that better too. What the fuck is his point? Like, you realize OT becomes legendary because of the prequels, right? Like
let's clarify. Because, like the OG, sorry.
Like we actually understand what democracy or what good thing Luke is actually fighting for in episode 6, right? Like, you do realize what he actually saves, and because of the prequels in the new edition, they add all the like cities and towns and places from all the people that have been liberated, so that we can actually like understand what the fuck, what they saved, what they've done. Like the prequels, without the prequels, I gotta be honest with you, the OT is kind of boring. They're still extremely good films, but like compared to what they are now because of the prequels, they're kind of boring. I mean, it's just, oh, they saved from the bad guys, cool. Oh, and versus, oh, they saved the whole galaxy and the Republic, the Galactic Republic, and they have restored a 1,000-year-long peaceful like order. They brought it back from the clutches of darkness. Like,
and it's not like the new editions really ruin Vader's sacrifice either. It's not like it actually ruins his development. In fact, like the prequels actually enhance that, that redemption, showing you how he fell from grace, and then the special editions sort of give more world building. Even though some of the CGI looks a bit wonky, we still see it's being made with love in actual editions that would make sense.
I mean, that line from what was his name again? The actor who plays Qui-Gon, the
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. That line, like in the Clone Wars, I believe you are the chosen one, and that you will find a way to restore balance. It's going to be hard, but you will get it done. And then in Heroes production, you see that scene where you see that dialogue over the scene where Anakin throws the Emperor, into the like electrified thing, and it's like, it's like, yep, he did save the world. Like, it's prequels only make a good prequel does nothing but make the previous movie better. And like, I mean, take The Hobbit for instance. Like, yes, it had a lot of problems. Yes, it made a lot of mistakes, but we got to see more of Middle Earth. Sure, a lot of the elements there's a lot of things indefensible about The Hobbit. Like, for instance, there's women fighting in the army too. Like, there's a lot of awful bullshit like that. But I mean, overall, and there's also black people, which is just annoying. It's not that, just because they're black, it's like bad, but it's like, yeah, they probably put them in there because in the original there's like almost none of them. Wait a minute, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
I'm just letting you speak, but yeah, it felt like they were kind of pandering to a specific set of people, and by a specific set, I of course mean they're
that did kind of
pandering to minorities, and
that did kind of piss me off though. Like, it's like Martin Freeman on one of the interviews was like, we need a character like Galadriel, or else it will be a sausage fest. Fuck off! Sausage fests don't exist. You can never have too many men. Or
too many women, to be honest. like you can't have too much of one or the other gender. It's either both together or none at all. That's my way of looking at it. Don't look at it like, oh, sausage fest or coochie fest or whatever.
I like the love story that Galadriel and that one orc guy. I think his name was Kiwi Gimli. No, not Gimli. Keely, Philly, maybe Philly.
I don't know. One of them.
I like their love story. It's simple, but it has some meaning. You know, the whole first sight kind of thing.
Yeah, it was pretty weird that that they added in that, but it was all right.
Yeah, well, it's all right for what it is. Like, that's who is that guy? Oh, it's him. No, don't say his name. I don't want to hear his name.
I'm not gonna say the P word. I'm gonna say the S word.
Oh shit, man. Okay.
Shit dealer. He's a shit dealer.
Shitty dealer.
Yeah.
Hello?
What the hell? Yeah.
Dealer, poop dealer, get the fuck out of chat.
I need to unmute Deviant because I thought Deviant, can't you just unmute yourself? Deviant.
Yeah, I thought I was muted, but anyways, this idea that the original movies are sacrosanct can be used against you. This movie that I like is made ruined because another movie that I think is better, and the other movie that I like is disappointing because of that. If we were to take it to the logical conclusion that he does.
Those are always stupid.
Can make the originals worse by comparison. With The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, the show was so good it honestly blew the original film out of the water. But now, having the original film as the conclusion to this amazing show serves as a disappointing step down. Can you imagine what a tragedy it would have been if the Star Wars prequels had been so amazing that The Return of the Jedi was now a disappointing?
It is disappointing.
They are amazing. Fuck you. It's not disappointing to me because it enhances it, but you know that's a
well look, the fight in episode 3 is better than the one in 6, like just straight up better. Like it's
well, yeah. I mean, in terms of choreography, yeah.
The reason why the OT works is because George put everything like nice together in like a flow. Like they're all part of one story.
You know why the OT works because it's so original.
It's its own story, you know. Like it doesn't feel lower scaled because it's lower scale. It feels lower scale because there's less people, there's less everything. There's not as big of a war. This is like the big aftermath of everything, which is also why technology seems to have almost gone backwards because everybody is tired.
Yeah, I mean, like
the Clone Wars isn't over.
If you take
the effects of it is still fucking people over to this day, like in the OT, it's all of it is really over once Vader throws him down and the good guys win. Like George Lucas put this down very brilliantly. But I mean, if you're going to be a pedantic dickhead, then yeah, the prequels do blow the originals out of the water.
Yes, and also he's making you choose a movie that you consider to be sacrosanct, and no other movie can be better than that movie.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty fucking retarded logic.
I mean, really, like, where's my like massive gunfight in the Forest of Endor between the rebels and the stormtroopers? Where's my like war between between the rebels and the snowtroopers in episode 5? Where this argument kind of just helps it's funny, like he's holding the originals like up as though they are on the super high standard, but like if I look at it objectively, the prequels, they kind of kick the OT's ass, like in a lot of aspects like that, even if they were poorly written. Like I'm not insulting the OT here, by the way.
People like Cosmonaut say that prequel lightsaber battles are good, and Empire Strikes Back lightsaber battles the best lightsaber battle ever.
All right.
At times, the
Oh.
original raps look wanky and janky.
Okay, all right, Poop Dealer. I have one thing to say. Remember when you post that jump scare video?
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
all right. I'm not dealing with this. Go away. All right.
Yeah, that guy
What
sent
the
a
fuck
jump
was
scare.
that about?
No,
Uh,
I'm just not gonna deal with this. You
Yeah,
bring it
he's-
up again, Labby, and I'll kick you out too. Let's
Sorry.
move on.
Finale. This is why prequels are always a bad idea. Sometimes
They're not always
Yeah.
a bad idea, you moron.
a vague and mysterious backstory is a lot cooler when we don't know all the details.
Okay, so once
What are
again,
stories and mystery
The fuck
boxes?
is that supposed to mean?
that's a worthless movie you're showing there, and you're comparing it to like actual fantastic masterpieces.
Yeah.
Hell,
It's a
dude.
false comparison.
Yeah, 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes. We're basically at the same point we already were. So we wasted pretty much half of our time right now.
Remember Prometheus? Well, that movie is like a 1 out of 10. I mean, that movie is like a 2 out of 10. This is like a minus 0.5 out of 10.
What movie?
Seriously, it was
Alien Covenant.
Prometheus was made by the same guy who made the original Alien. How can it fuck it? How did he fuck it up this bad? Oh wait, he picked a really shitty writer.
Or-
Now that
There
makes
seems to
too
be
much
there
sense.
seems to be a problem with writing nowadays. No,
I think you're just not allowed to make a good story. Like a good story does unexpected shit and is and it,
a
and
good
it's,
story isn't marketing friendly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
falling. I
You
mean,
need to watch very shitty stories with badass action trailers.
Falling Down
Wow.
is Falling Down is a good and well written story. You think many people would write that story nowadays?
No,
Well, they did they made Joker. Well, it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's
but
not-
Joker is way more politically correct than Falling Down is.
but what does that have to do with the quality of the movie?
Well, for one, it's definitely a lot more boring because of that. I don't like Joker. I'm not interested to go into it right now. Let's move on.
And yet, studios keep greenlighting prequels to movies like The Hunger
They do that for money. And
well, a
and
prequel. Okay, let me just.
go ahead.
or Die Hard because they
No,
know so long.
I mean,
Okay.
you go ahead with what you were saying.
All right. Okay, a prequel to Hunger Games seems more logical, but a prequel to Die Hard is like, why? It's pointless. Hunger Games, you have some kind of. That's an interesting world. Prequel can really help it.
It's like a fucking. It's like a fucking Hans Gruber origin story.
we don't need a prequel on fucking Hans Gruber. Like, we already know that he's gonna die. Like, well, I mean, I shouldn't use that logic.
All right.
Hans was exactly what he needed to be, which was a foreign bad guy who was also a good thief.
And who didn't know how to speak German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, it's that I'm not even German, and I know that it's not Schiss dem Fenster. It's Schiss aus das Fenster.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. All right. And now I will teach you, Alexander, how to die while having the gun ready and being the first to shoot while running into a room. Thank you very much. I was so obsessed with Die Hard. I literally know what they're all called, all the bad guys in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Like instant death German guy is Alexander. Retarded table man, that guy is called Marcus. The blonde dude is Carl. Okay, I probably have forgotten some of the other guys, but like that fat guy that falls over and lets the rocket lay down, that guy's called James. And this is a tangent. This has got nothing to do with the video. Let's move on.
As they crank out the fan service, people
Fuck off! Oh my god, stop. Okay, seriously, Mr. Videomaker, don't compare actual good movies with garbage movies. It literally murders your argument in its entirety.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of movies that have a problem with action. They don't know how to do action right. So here in the first example, we've got fucking what's a good example? I guess the fucking accountant. I don't fucking know. We got the fucking accountant, and in the other one we have Predator. And these movies are very similar. And they're very the same. And oh my god, it's like It's like, oh, I hate this film. I hate this film. The Last Jedi. It's so bad. Also, Empire. It's so bad. Both are so bad. An example of retarded subversion. You just stare at the guy and you're like, what the fuck?
I mean, in all fairness, I definitely did like The Accountant, but there were some things in that movie that did not make sense.
It's a modern action movie, so I hate it. So by all means, it's by all means, it's probably decent for modern standards.
Jesus, it's kind of biased, but hey, fuck it.
In one corner we have Half-Life 2, in the other corner we have Big Rigs.
Over the road race.
Yeah, Big Rig. Road rage, Big Rigs.
That I make it so that the winning theme in Half-Life 2 is like the same level of good as your winner.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you're comparing apples to oranges, man.
You're not comparing apples to oranges.
Stop.
You're comparing apples to rotten apples.
You're comparing a delicious banana to a horrifically rotten kiwi. I mean,
if you want to go further, you're just comparing a banana to a penis with STDs.
Fuck off. Okay.
We'll keep showing.
Can we continue?
What the fuck was that? Okay, yeah. Let's continue.
I think his brain just shut down.
For those of you who don't know, fan service is a moment in a work of fiction meant specifically to please the audience.
Yeah, stop comparing these fucking films, you retards.
A character might say a funny line, another character once said, there might be a fun reference to source
Yeah, but that makes sense, though. That was a proper way to implement it.
Material, an actor might make a
and that's a bad way to... There's a sequel! It's a sequel! What the fuck?
Wait, hold on. Which
Really?
movie was this? Was this meant to be Last Jedi?
The Rise of motherfucking Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's not even a prequel, you stupid fuck.
Holy fuck, he fucked it up big time.
The heck?
Okay, let me get this straight. So you take a logically sensical scene where Legolas and the other elves, they like take the items from the dwarves, and he finds this little figurine, this like picture of his family, and he sees his son, and he's like, "What an ugly piece of shit." He's like, "That's my son, Gimli," and he's just like, "Okay," and you compare that to John Williams in fucking sequel movie, which is not a prequel. I feel like this guy is biased and he can't sense it whatsoever.
Yeah, he seems to be incredibly biased. Why else would he say that? All right, let's continue.
And just to cover my back here, you a few seconds ago you said I was biased against modern movies. You see, I am self-aware of that because from my personal standards, they're garbage. But from normal standards, from like your average guy, they're probably pretty damn good. But this guy is not self-aware because he unironically thinks the prequels are fucking bad movies.
By the way, Replica, I saw that you changed my name to Dickhead, so fuck you.
I don't care. Move on.
cameo, that sort of thing. And I don't think fan service
I don't know what this is, and I literally don't care if it's well written. This looks awesome.
is an entirely bad thing. God knows I adored
Yeah, that skin you praise is from Bumblebee, a reboot, not a prequel.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna go watch that movie instantly.
Yeah, I did.
May as well watch it.
Yeah, you gotta be disappointed.
Did
That
it look
intro.
like that in the whole movie?
No, it's just the first. It's just the intro, but you can still watch it. It's like Iron Giant with Transformers.
Oh, wait, why can't you hear me? Ah! Ah! Ah!
What?
I can hear you, my dude.
What?
I want a whole movie with Gen 1's Transformers.
Yeah, those.
This is also a sequel, by the way. What the fuck's wrong with you, dude?
Bit of it in films like Avengers Endgame and Ready Player One. It's fun when a filmmaker puts
Oh god, the Ready Player One.
Also-
Use the worst Master Chief design.
This
His
guy
Halo.
is this. Wait, what is this? Is this Halo 5?
No,
That's
yeah, whatever.
filmmaker puts something in a scene that serves as a callback to something else. When done right, a little bit of fan service can make for a fun moment. Sometimes
It's not a prequel though, and this is a sequel. So what the fuck's wrong with you?
it can even serve as a payoff for something set up previously. But when done wrong, it can be distracting and
Rogue One is probably the best sequel movie. I mean,
well, it's a sequel prequel.
it's probably one of the best Disney movies. Look,
Yeah.
this
Well, I mean, the best Disney Star Wars movie by far.
the maker of this video has this fucking problem where he compares 6, 4, 5, and 8 out of 10s with like 2, 1, 3s and minus 50. Like this guy,
That's very odd.
his standards are just so skewed. Like I don't like Rogue One. I think it's a bad movie, but oh my god, is it not compare? It's way better than like Prometheus or whatever, like or Alien Covenant or any of the other garbage or Ready Player One or whatever the fuck this guy put down. This is ridiculous, utterly retarded.
confusing
Remember
for
Honest
anyone
Trailers calling Ready Player One the Ouroboros of movies.
What is it?
What?
Ouroboros?
The snake that chews itself.
Ah, wait, that makes no sense at all.
What do you mean?
Why is Ready Player One compared to that? To that?
It like recycles a lot of ideas.
Well, it recycles many characters from many different medias, so
Yeah, so an Ouroboros.
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
something set up previously. But when done wrong, it can be distracting and confusing for anyone unfamiliar with the franchise they are watching. And fan service is where I believe most prequels stumble the hardest. Because
Okay, and that movie is actually good. So, come on.
Whatever. Okay.
Oh my god, why do you show a clip from like a genuinely good movie?
What, Captain Marvel?
No, not Captain Marvel. That one before that was a shot from a prequel to Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
The movie was called The Wizard.
Oh,
of Oz.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
That movie was good. Why are you showing it? What's wrong
Okay,
with you?
Those modern movie reviewers are
Yeah.
they recycle most of their takes from each other.
This
Yeah.
is so insane because it's like, it's. I mean,
All right.
most retarded people out there, even or let's just say retarded mainstream movie reviewer people, like they admit that Revenge of the Sith is all right. So if it's all right, is that still like too high? Like how high does a movie have to be before you drop this? Prequels are always bad bullshit. His
Well,
video-
I mean, even if they are good, no, he said even if they are good, they'll still be better than the original. So that's that.
oh fuck, this guy's a fucking-
Yeah, oh god.
I hate him.
Because most prequels seem to be
He's
less
an
about
idiot.
extending the story and the world and more about playing to your nostalgia. For an example of
Yeah, so those are like the bad
Every
movies.
prequel does this.
Those are like the bad movies you showed, and the good movies you showed do that way less. So fuck off.
Let's take another look at Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Which is like a really, really horrible movie. And the prequels, Rogue One, The Wizard of Oz, and The Hobbit are nowhere near to even close to being any. I mean, those are all not bad movies. Well, maybe Rogue One, but those are all not this for sure. So your video is utterly retarded.
Enjoyed the first Fantastic Beasts film. It felt more like a spin-off than a prequel, a cool new story set in a world we already know and love. But as soon
Yeah, but it's still a prequel though.
Yeah, I mean, like you've
as Grindelwald showed
already shot yourself in the foot by saying prequels can't be good because they're not the original.
Yes. So like this was an actual example that contradicts him, and so he just ignores that and twists it into being something else. So yeah, there you go. Disingenuous, awesome.
up, suddenly I saw where this whole thing was gonna go. This wasn't gonna be a series about a young wizard tracking down cool monsters. This is gonna become a full-blown prequel, intent on setting up the original series. And whoo boy, I didn't know the half of it, because The Crimes of Grindelwald is basically just fan service the movie. This story isn't about...
If that was the case, then it would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, fan service isn't a...
Like
fan
all I've
service
ever
isn't
heard,
inherently bad.
all I've ever heard is that people think this movie is awful because it just breaks so much. Like, I mean, what the hell, dude? I mean, look, if that's the case, that would still be like a decent movie, at least, I guess. Like it, whatever. I don't give a shit. Oh god damn!
What the fuck?
Don't worry, I remember it. It's all right. It's all right.
the movie. The story isn't about Newt anymore. It's about seeing what Dumbledore looked like when he was a young guy and finding out about the Lestrange family tree and discovering...
Why the fuck is that actress? Why is she there? Why are all these modern movies always the exact same people? Whatever.
I don't know.
Dumbledore's other...
Well, I can recognize them, and it's really annoying how a lot of these movies just use the same.
Yeah,
like, 10. They have like an actor pool of like 50 people. Like,
yeah,
instead of millions.
It's like watching animated some kind of animated series, and then you hear Steve Blum's voice. He's like almost not 90%.
Well, that doesn't matter because Steve J. Blum is a global treasure for humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say it's kind of a false equivalence there, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Everybody loves Steve J. Blum.
Yeah.
More importantly, Steve J. Blum always plays small characters, even though he should be the main character and everything. All right, let's move on.
Or other secret sibling, you know.
Yeah.
He did play Wolverine versus Hulk, where he is the main character, sort of.
In what movie?
It's an animated Marvel movie from the 2000s.
I'm going to watch it just for him. Sounds cool.
I'm pretty sure he was also a Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop.
Wow, that was like his introduction into voice acting. Anyways, this actress, I feel bad for her with Game of Thrones. Let's move on.
Oh, she's dead.
And discovering.
Let's go.
The young, the first, and then there's the Flash from the DCU movie.
Dumbledore's other secret sibling. You know, because everyone has to be related to each other. Oh, and you know,
if it was well written, then it could have been good. This is not the prequel's fault, you dumbass.
You know that evil snake Voldemort has? Yeah, turns out that's a person. And not like an evil person. A pitiable, tortured soul. Yeah, that'll teach you to cheer when Neville kills the giant snake. Snakes are people too.
Okay, that was stupid, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, it's retconny, but even then, it's still like, well, if they would have written it well, then blah blah blah. Like it's. I mean, like,
yeah, I'm still not going to comment on this.
Yeah, whatever.
Too. With this film, the filmmakers endeavored to answer every single question you never asked about Harry Potter and its history. And it is far from the only prequel that does this. Tell me, did you ever want to know how Han Solo got his last name? I know I did.
Well, I kind of wanted to see Han making
Yeah.
up his last name, not some stupid Imperial officer doing it for him.
We didn't even need an explanation for Han Solo's last name. We didn't need an explanation, and that's what they came up with.
Yeah.
The fuck?
The best version of that explanation they could use, and they didn't use it. What a waste.
didn't.
What
Turn-
galaxy-brained minds they have over at that wonderful studio.
Oh yeah. Such great writing from fucking Lucasfilm. Jesus Christ, those guys just make my blood boil.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so like my idea for his name would be that he always used a fake alias so that people wouldn't be able to track him down, and then he used it so often and was so caught up in the world of crime that it just became his last name, even though it wasn't. Like almost kind of like,
That could be a good explanation for it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that could also work.
Han Solo. But Solo does kind of feel like a false background. Like
Turns out it just is a cruel pun from some Imperial officer. Did you know his
gotta be honest with you, as much as it's a dumbass way to give him the name, it's so much better. You can't even like this guy has no creativity. You can't even imagine just how awful it could be. It could literally be that he's got like an alien dad or something, and the alien dad has like a relationship with him, like Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then his father dies sacrificing him after learning to love him, and he's just like,
What's wrong with that?
Okay, Adam.
I love you,
Oh, yeah.
son. I love you. I'm dead. And it's like, okay, from now on, I am a Solo. Ugh.
Okay. Why is okay, Adam?
So Adam replied to this.
Why is
Alright,
Cosmo? Okay. All right, guys.
How are you
Okay.
doing in that stream?
Why is Cosmo so malignant? What the fuck does he mean?
Maligned. Hold on.
In
I'll read it. I'll read it. Why is Cosmonaut so maligned in the Star Wars and the Last of Us communities?
Because he made it. Because he said they were good. The Last of Us 2 is good.
Yeah, because he's the person you wanted to. Seriously, Adam. Make like an Adam split.
Cosmonaut is part of like. Yeah.
Okay. Want to hear
Cosmonaut
Joe?
is part of the lowest common denominator.
Adam Lazura is in it.
Oh! What?
It's a lot of fair points.
Fuck.
He has a lot of fair points. Okay, cool.
Okay. Look, guys. Let's try to ignore this for now and keep doing this video. Okay.
Can I write something for him? For Adam. Make like a.
Be nice. Be nice.
Adam and split. Is it okay?
No.
That's a really weird thing to say.
I
His
mean,
gun was
nice.
a part
Just
of a
be nice,
sniper
dude. Come
rifle?
on.
Now you finally
Whatever,
understand why
whatever.
it has a scope. Now you know why the front of the Millennium Falcon has a notch in it. Now you know that Legolas used to be a huge jerk whose girlfriend
Not comparable. One is a terrible movie, and one is a pretty good movie.
was stolen by a sexy dwarf. I guess that's why he hates dwarves. And now you know that C-3PO was actually created by Darth.
It's not even what
What's
happened.
wrong with that?
That's not even what happened in The Hobbit. Legolas didn't hate dwarves. I mean, he kind of liked Galadriel, I suppose. But I mean, what the fuck?
And Kaiser, why the hell are you appearing and reappearing?
The second issue isn't an issue, so there you go. I mean, him making Darth Vader, that just makes it more interesting, honestly.
Vader. You know,
Yeah.
a protocol droid that can speak thousands of languages and is skilled at diplomacy was created by a slave boy to help his mother with slaves.
He didn't build him. He rebuilt him, repaired him, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think he made him.
He mostly
Don't
built
think-
them, but he built them from spare parts from
You
other
don't
things.
know he was able to translate thousands of languages. That might have just been like
That might have been a software update, bro.
Yeah, that could be. Although, to be fair, I still don't see why this is a problem.
Yeah, to this day, what I don't get it.
I don't get it
Slave
either. It's just ridiculous.
Tasks. There's no
That's a good movie, and also this is. I mean,
Yes, but
it's
doesn't matter if
childish,
it's a
but
good movie.
it's a little childish, but it makes us understand why he hates them so much in particular.
needed to know that Randall from Monsters Inc. hates Sully because he beat him in a game in college. There's
No, he didn't beat
yeah.
him in a game in college. He disgraced him in a game of college. Made him look like a massive fucking fool. So everybody laughed at him. That's gonna haunt him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and
clearly
then
You're kind of taking this out of context, my dude.
He clearly hasn't gotten over it yet. Even in the new thing, like him kicking them out into the snow, that was like sweet revenge for what you fuckers did to me. Like like he has this inexplicable hatred for them in the original, and now we know why. Like this is, I mean, like remember that line? Solomon got what he deserved, and then his boss says Solomon was twice the scarer you will ever be. You know, like that sums up his like that, like that's like this. It's so you're taking shit out of context, hardcore, and you're comparing.
Yeah,
You're comparing really, really good films. Some of them are not as good as the original, but regardless, you are comparing films that are just fine, and I mean, I'll argue Monsters Inc. as University is about as good as the original. But like you're comparing that with fucking Prometheus, a incoherent, retarded mess with just idiotic, just. This movie is not bad because it's a prequel. It's bad because the story doesn't work and everything is just convenient bullshit.
it is very shitty writing. That's why it's bad.
I mean, I don't want to be like no, fuck it. I mean, execution and shit, that is pretty much the most important thing. And all these fucking movies do it way better than this shit.
There's no reason we needed to know how the xenomorph was created. There's no
Well, it would have to be created some way, you fucking retard.
reason we needed to know that Nick Fury's eye patch was because a cat scratched him. Because
Okay,
that
that was
kind of retarded.
beyondly retarded. Seriously, why didn't they make a Nick Fury movie instead of a Captain Marvel one?
How was that fucking your eye anyway?
Feminism.
See, because they needed to bring up Brie Larson, you know, they needed to actually bring her career up, and what better way to bring her career up than to make her better than everyone else and more competent conveniently than everyone else.
I thought her career was brought up by her YouTube channel.
No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. In fact, her career actually went downhill after she made the YouTube channel.
Yeah. What? That's what happens when you get homeschooled. You become the dumbest person in the universe, apparently.
Well,
She got any schooling.
I think she's a very vain woman. Like she doesn't have, like she's like paper thin as an actual person, essentially. Like she has almost nothing to her, you know. Like not to be like rags and compare.
At least you can write on paper. She's just like a hologram.
Not to be like rags and compare myself to other people that I'm incomparable with, but like if you just put me in a vacuum with just me and my ideas, there's a lot going on there, you know. Like just what I have right now. I assume with her, it's just like I like my shoes, and I wonder how many more.
She's just a hologram that is coded to display messages relevant to her programming.
Yeah.
She's like rapidly dissolving toilet paper. She does her job well, but apparently not well enough.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
Yeah, sure. Debian, could you make like a meme where it's like Replica's mind like in static, and then you show Greek philosophers, and then her, and then it's just like it's some like it's like some never ending like just circus surrounding round go thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lame. And with each
Lame.
Yeah, but that movie's garbage.
Lame.
Yeah, but that's Captain Marvel. It's like a garbage movie though. So there you go.
reveal, these prequels retroactively make the originals worse.
Or better.
No, they don't.
Oh, lost an eye.
Why does everything in a prequel have to be connected to everything?
He's talking about this, so all the fucking prequels in the world are made by one man, and he makes them all the same way. Terrible.
Yeah, but well, okay. If they were made differently, he will complain about it. Mark my words. If
He's just trying to make. He's just trying to make a video for his. He has a caved-in head take, and he wants to make a quick bug. So he just.
This is all for clickbait, boys. This is all for clickbait.
He like the Star Wars prequels, as far as I'm concerned. Like, if all the criticism about them is true, if everything the Plinkett said was right, then they're still 8 out of 10s. Like there are some people out there that can understand that, but then there's fucking galaxy brained retards like this guy, who doesn't realize that. Hey, wait a minute. Even if the prequels have all these problems that I keep saying they don't have, then they're still kind of better than Alien Covenant, because of the prequels, when they got into, well, I mean, where the fuck do I even begin to compare it to? It's just like Alien Covenant, movies like that. Well, yeah, like how they slip on their weapons and fall over like every 2 seconds when fighting a monster, and how in the prequels they're competent and not retarded. I mean, like they're not comparable. Fuck this shit.
From the original content it was based on, because fan service.
No, it's not fan service. That explains to us why
that's the
Purple
whole
Man
reason.
hates them. Like
Purple Man.
That explains why Purple Man hates blue hairy creature
and
green cyclops.
Eye Man. Oh, hello, it's Airboy.
Oh, finally.
Hey
there.
Hi.
All right.
He says that Monsters University is just as bad as something like Alien Covenant.
Yeah, because whatever. Let's continue.
Oh, shut up. He says
Oh,
Monsters University is just as bad as Alien Covenant because it's a prequel.
What?
Yeah,
I don't like Monsters University, but like.
Yeah, I'll show you. We'll just watch this whole part, but not stop. We'll let Airborne see it.
Grindelwald showed up. Suddenly, I saw where this whole thing was gonna go. This wasn't gonna be a series about a young wizard tracking down cool monsters. This was gonna become a full-blown prequel, intent on setting up the original series. And whoo boy, I didn't know the half of it, because The Crimes of Grindelwald is basically just fan service the movie. The story isn't about Newt anymore. It's about seeing what Dumbledore looked like when he was a young guy, and finding out about the Lestrange family tree, and discovering Dumbledore's other secret sibling. Because everyone has to be related to each other. Oh, and you know that evil snake Voldemort has? Yeah, it turns out that's a person. And not like an evil person. A pitiable, tortured soul. Yeah, that'll teach you to cheer when Neville kills the giant snake. Snakes are people too. With this film, the filmmakers endeavored to answer every single question you never asked about Harry Potter and its history. And it is far from the only prequel that does this. Tell me, did you ever want to know how Han Solo got his last name? I know I didn't, but turns out it just is a cruel pun from some Imperial officer. Did you know his gun was a part of a sniper rifle? Now you finally understand why it has a scope. Now you know why the front of the Millennium Falcon has a notch in it. Now you know that Legolas used to be a huge jerk whose girlfriend was stolen by a sexy dwarf. I guess that's why he hates dwarves. And now you
Such an over fucking simplification of those movies, anyway.
Know that C-3PO was actually created by Darth Vader. You know, a protocol droid that can speak thousands of languages and is skilled at diplomacy was created by a slave boy to help his mother with...
Do you think he personally programmed him to learn all those languages?
Oh my!
He obviously just found like a schematic or something.
slave tasks. There's no reason we needed to know that Randall from Monsters, Inc. hates Sully because he beat him in a game in college. There's no reason we needed to know how the Xenomorph was created. There's no reason we needed to know that Nick Fury's eye patch was because a cat scratched him.
Okay, well, like, the problem is that we didn't need to know these things. Is the problem that, like, it's just bad writing.
Yes, that's what we
Like this moment in Captain Marvel is like one of the most betraying things in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. In Winter Soldier, Nick Fury says, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." And that's he got scratched by a cat. That is possibly like the most damning, like disgusting moment in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Utterly fuck his character.
Like, and it's clear that it's not the same people that made Winter Soldier, because people who made Winter Soldier take this subject seriously. It's not just, oh, Captain Marvel is strong wham and Nick Fury is funny sidekick.
I'll fucking enjoy Endgame with this kind of bullshit mixed in with it.
It's Captain Marvel's barely even in it. And that's a very good thing.
I know, but if I was watching a movie that I take serious and I'd see a character that's essentially based on shitting all over my favorite characters, then I wouldn't be able to watch that movie.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's like the problem is like highlighting it shouldn't be the fact that we don't need to know these things. It's that now that we know these things, they're stupid.
It's done stupidly. Like that's
like execution. Execution is everything. You have not highlighted a single conceptual problem with prequels.
I feel like the Monsters Inc. one pisses me off more than even the prequels in this regard, because it's like you do realize that he doesn't only get beat by him, he also gets disgraced by him, and so all his friends, he's kicked out of the party he's with, and they all look at him as like a loser now because of him, and therefore that explains why he hates them in the first movie that particularly hard.
Yes.
Like it's just freaking hell. I'm so sick of this.
Because that would be lame. And with each lame reveal, these prequels retroactively make the originals worse.
Last time I trusted someone,
I lost an eye.
Why does everything in a prequel have to be connected to everything from the original content it was based?
That cat left a deep fucking mark on his face.
Yeah.
The cat was actually a monster. A weird squid monster thingy-mabobber. It's fucking stupid. I hate Captain Marvel.
That sounds just as retarded as you're just saying it is.
Yeah. I hate Captain Marvel. It's my least favorite out of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Seriously.
Not only is it like an example of just like corporate Hollywood trash, it like actively betrays the older Marvel movies. Like Phase 1, Phase 2 Marvel is like, it's not great, but it's really consistent, you know. It's a really strong story, and then Phase 3 comes along, and yeah, it's like we get like all these new characters. It's like, yeah, they're okay, but they're not as good. And then Captain Marvel comes along, and it's just like, wow, you really did this. I didn't even think it was possible to ruin Nick Fury.
Based on. Because fan service. Because Hollywood knows that when you see something and think, oh, it's that thing from that thing I like, you get a hit with a nice dose of nostalgia that tricks your brain into thinking,
what the fuck? Okay, seriously.
Why are you mixing the Star Wars prequels with this?
But
why are you mixing the okay? I need to make this clear.
This is the Cosmonaut argument. You've been tricked into liking these movies.
I need to make this clear, guys. I need to make this absolutely clear to all of you. Like, he's not just insulting the prequels here. He's insulting The Hobbit, Monsters University, Rogue One to a way lesser degree, but still. And he's comparing him to these horrifically bad, disgustingly bad written, modern piece of dog shit movies, prequels that are they're not comparable in any way, like whatsoever. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freaking shit. I mean, but anyway, like, what the hell would you expect from a prequel anyway? Like, yeah, you're going to have imagery of the previous things, and we see them as to how they got to where they were. That's what happens in a prequel. What else do you think they're for? Ah!
Yeah, like, why make it a prequel if it's gonna have absolutely nothing to do with the previous material?
You may as well just take it out of the
Like,
universe.
there was a sequel to this like comedy drama called MASH. It was either a prequel or a sequel. Oh, it was a sequel. And basically, like, the guy it's about a doctor, and like they briefly mention that he went to Vietnam once because the show MASH takes place in Vietnam. But that was it. Like, that was the entirety of the references to MASH. Like, that's it. That's all we got. And it's like, why even make it a sequel to that show if that's like the bare minimum you're gonna do? Whereas at the Star Wars prequels, it's like you have like this interconnectivity with the original trilogy that's like used for narrative purposes, like all of the mirroring with the visuals and the story. It's like, wow, this is kind of cool how it all fits together nicely like this.
Yep.
Instead of getting like a story like 200 years earlier that's like about, like, I don't know, Face Windu, his adventures on the planet of Tatooine.
Yeah, I know, right? That High Republic thing looks so awful.
It's gonna be so boring.
Yeah. Just as like back 200 years back, they became SCW, and the reason why Palpatine was able to take over was because they became too right wing and neo-Nazi like.
See, there you go. Well,
I like this, but this instead produces a hollow husk of a movie that cannot be enjoyed outside of the context of the original films.
Okay, like, you're absolutely right with Crimes of Grindelwald. It's a terrible movie, but not because it's a prequel. It's because, like, the prequel elements of the movie are just executed badly.
Okay, so I don't know who here, like, is there anyone in this chat that thinks The Hobbit isn't good?
I've never watched The Hobbit.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
No,
yeah, I only watched a Battle of the Five Armies, but that movie is good.
To those in the chat, if you think they're bad, I will kill you. But regardless, they're not bad movies. Like, the prequels are better than The Hobbit, and I would even say maybe Monsters University. Well, no. The Hobbit's definitely better than that. I mean, The Hobbit suffers from a lot of like development, like, and how they made the movie problems. But I mean, fuck me, we got some more Christopher Lee Saruman, so if anything, that was worth it. And I mean, they're not bad movies, and more importantly, like, they're not, even if they were bad movies, they're still not comparable to something like Alien fucking Covenant. Like,
or Crimes of Grindelwald.
I feel like this is just a blatant punch in my face to show me this in comparison with those. Like, this is like comparing The Room to like The Last Jedi or the TCW. Like, yeah, I know The Room is bad, but it's not that bad. Come on.
Did you just say TCW?
Yeah, like that you know, that like expanded universe thing with like the DCU EU universe, you know, like the thing that Mahler and stuff they watched, you know, like they watched
CW.
Yeah, they watched the crossover Infinite Attack on many Earths, something like that.
I don't even remember what it's called. Yeah, they also watched Batwoman.
Like shit like that is way worse than other things that are bad, but this is not bad, so that makes it even worse.
Cool is truly supposed.
Oh, by the way, this actor is dead. Ian Holmes, rest in peace. Yeah. See, another reason why The Hobbit is great. We got more Ian Holmes being Bilbo. hate retards.
To be a precursor to the original films, books, or shows that we love, then logically you should be able to watch the films in chronological order. But this dedication to fan service
Well, you can see the prequels and fuck.
above
Yeah,
story
honestly,
actively
I don't remember who brought it up, but it was either Grant Harper or Papamy in the Anomaly Discord server. But I think like one of the greatest things about the prequels is like the idea that like these insignificant characters become these like absolute gods in the original trilogy. Like R2D2, like you just like initially just like, oh, it's R2D2, just some random droid. But then he becomes like this like incredibly significant character who just travels like the vast reaches of the galaxy film to film, and it's like, wow, R2D2 would become this, Star Wars icon to be in all 6 films. That's amazing. Whereas you watch it in release order, and it's like, oh, it's R2D2.
Why?
It was in the originals. It's like you get like this idea of like like these characters becoming progressively more important as time goes on.
Why is this? Why are we? Oh my god.
prevents that. So many moments in these shows and films, we as an audience.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay.
I'm sorry. What is this?
Sorry. This is a thought. This is a thought that had been stuck in my mind for a bit. Like I already said it earlier, but I have to just say it again. I just have to say it again. Oh my god. The Hobbit was written by J.R.R. Tolkien before The Lord of the Rings. Like, how can you compare it with that?
Find significant are only significant because we've already seen the original films. Take Rogue One as an example. I actually really like the movie. But when you show that ending to someone who...
Oh, fuck off! What else would be happening? What would happen? Seriously, tell me. How would they get the plans of the Resistance there? Did Darth Vader just let them go over and be like, okay, I'm going to give you a head start, and then we're gonna come chase you? Oh, thank you, Mr. Vader. You're a very nice guy.
They have to do the fucking transmissions, and either the stormtroopers or Vader have to give them a run for their money. They have to. That's the only way that it has to end. Because they're being chased down in A New Hope.
Did you think they weren't like? Did you think they weren't like? Like what? In what? We don't know. What was happening before they got chased. But if we just ignore Rogue One exists for a second, like, are you honestly going to tell me that you didn't think that because the fact there was even a chase there is kind of remarkable. Like, there was wherever they were, they probably hightailed it the fuck out of there, and got away by the skin of their teeth, only to finally be captured. Later when they were following hyperspace. Like, I mean, what do you expect? This is just stupid. It's like a movie that begins with imagine a movie that literally begins with 3 men running away and getting like blown up into bits, and the last guy throws something away into water, and then he dies, and then the water, it goes to main character, and the rest of the movie happens. Like, if we make a prequel that ends literally where the other begins, what is the last thing we should see? The 3 guys running away towards the corridor. Okay, we should see that. For all the garbageness about the pathetic The Thing prequel, it does end with the 2 retards in the plane chasing the dog. Not that it matters so much, because that whole sequence is terrible too. But what? Okay, I don't want to insult The Thing, but seriously, you don't die like that. You don't accidentally miss your grenade and then blow up your helicopter. That's
what the
possible.
Mind of Replica, hating sequels cranium, praising prequels low, but hating confused Matthew Godgale. Whatever.
It's like all of the
Allah. It's like all the parts of the
communist
brain
shitting on modern
constantly-
movies, falling down membrane, loving fear.
falling down membrane. Paging confused Matthew. I kind of like how the frontal lobe. I kind of like how the frontal lobe is just entirely committed to praising the prequels.
I
Because that is
I
how
think
that
my
would be.
brain would just be Return of the Jedi. Wally.
It would just be Return to the Jedi. Oh yeah, everything else is fine, but Return to the Jedi. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and keep.
Oh god.
Comparing things to One Punch Man.
Hasn't seen in their Star Wars movies, suddenly it makes no sense. Our main character
What? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, let's
do
hear
you
him
mean?
explain why.
are already all dead, but then suddenly the secondary villain arrives and has this badass action scene that's given this huge sense of importance, and then the plans are sent off to this weird digital lady we've never met before who smiles and says there's hope now. Yay? And while most prequels aren't that
Okay, who the fuck watches Rogue One first?
Well,
This
hold on.
only becomes confusing if you watch Rogue One before any other Star Wars movie.
Okay, so
Retarded.
retarded.
Okay.
Okay, so retarded video maker. If you watch Rogue One and then 4 will like almost instantly explain who she is. So there you go.
A pod with the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
Also,
They literally explain who she is like 10 minutes into episode 4. So.
Also, more importantly, it will be a cold day in hell if they genuinely never explained who she or even referenced who she is in Rogue One.
Okay. 5 more minutes, people.
Lavin,
All right, go on, let's go.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
hard to access for
Let's go.
newbies. They all feature moments like this. We have no reason.
That's a Batman movie. I assume that one is probably good too.
That's a TV series.
Oh well, then. Well,
It's called Gotham. It's not bad.
why is the Hobbit's good? Stop showing it to me. Damn bullshit. This is like
Reason to believe
oh my
Legolas is important.
fucking. Okay, this is like imagine you have Lord of the Rings, and then you take like what was that movie called? Like that Pompeii, yeah, that 2013 movie, and then you put them in, and then you say modern movies are so bad. The heroes are overpowered and they stab everyone and they die in one hit. And then I unironically use like fucking Lord of the Rings there, like, and I put it in the same selection of clips with like something like Pompeii or whatever that Hayden Christensen movie was. I don't fucking know, where he like beats up Chinese people. Like this,
Or like if I were to say all like character writing in these like Star Wars movies is terrible, and then I show like. And then I show like like a halfway decent character like Tobias Beckett alongside Ray.
I mean, like
Because it's like completely uncharitable to like group in these like these decent things with these terrible counterparts.
oh yeah, and by the way, to anyone who loves Lord of the Rings as much as I do, let me just explain in Jimmy's standards why they are even better. Because like, oh, it's kind of dumb how they kill the orcs. No. Aragorn is 87 years old and is an excellent sword fighter. Gimli is like 125 or something, and also master sword fighter. And Legolas, well, he's Legolas, so he's, you know, like the characters are established to be masters and absolute elite fighters, so that's why they win as hard as they do. So there you go.
Oh.
Important when he shows up in Hobbit, but his arrival is treated as significant. If you don't know who Grindelwald
Yeah, because he's the son of the king of the elves there.
is
you
or his history with Dumbledore, the ending of Fantastic Beasts is just confusing and leaves you thinking, oh, it's Johnny Depp after the big reveal. A little
He's right actually. I mean, like, why didn't he just make a? He should have just made a video on Crimes of Grindelwald.
Like,
yeah, like these, like that's not an objective problem with the movie, but like, yeah, unless you know who Grindelwald is and pretend that you pretend he looks exact same as he did in Harry Potter, You don't know who the fuck he is, and it's like, wow, it's
Okay, so
Johnny
if
Yen,
I,
he's Johnny Depp.
okay, so
But this only applies to Crimes of Grindelwald.
I can unironically take the beginning or the end sequence of Rogue One with Vader and the Rebels and apply it to like the beginning of Episode 4. It would be a little bit jarring, but I could literally do that and it would probably work. Like this. I hate this.
Someone has already done that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone made like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
edit.
yeah. I'll
Like,
yeah. I'll go ahead and search it up on YouTube and then show it in the Insight 19 chat.
Like
Fan
I could,
service here and
yeah, like
there
that connective
is-
tissue is so good that, like, that connective tissue is so good it actually works. Like you guys have to just understand that.
Although one problem that it does arise is that Vader is still like this overpowered, even though in his fight versus Obi-Wan, it's like,
I mean, he's probably like going easy on him.
I guess, but like, I mean, Obi-Wan's the guy left him to die in a lava pit.
Yeah, but he's
So,
super.
although if we're comparing just Rogue One and A New Hope and forgetting the prequels for a second,
Well,
it's not really. It's. I'm not saying it's a huge problem or anything. It's a little
I'm just saying. Airborne.
strange.
I'm just saying, Airborne. It's not exactly. It's not at all like a transition. That's
Oh, it works for sure.
Hey, by the way, does anybody know if what was his name? The actor who plays Darth Vader, did he reprise his role for Rogue One?
Are you talking about James Earl Jones or are you talking about the person in the suit?
I'm talking about the
Reprise?
person in the suit.
No, I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
Rogue
different
One.
person.
I keep forgetting his name, but he is the true Darth Vader in my heart.
Darth Vader in suit. What do you mean?
Darth Vader.
That actor, the guy who played Darth Vader in the suit, he thought that he was going to get to voice. He thought that he was going to get to be voice Darth Vader, and
It's either it's Daniel Naprose or Spencer
David Prowse.
Wilding.
David Prowse, yeah, that's him.
Daniel Naprose is David Prowse.
Oh well, that might hold up. David Prowse.
Rise, Darth David Prowse.
He had a pretty horrible accent that caused one of his eyes to look weird. But
Oh Jesus.
well, it's like some kind of eye dysfunction. It's weird. He looks one direction. One of his eyes looks like it's staring at you, and the other one looks like it's looking off to the side somewhere. It's
I know a kid like that.
Hold on, let's see here. Was he in Rogue One? What? New Hope deleted scenes video short. Darth Vader. Oh, okay.
Okay, can we continue?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and continue. this video.
He would probably be too old to play Darth Vader, if I'm going to be honest.
If you don't know who Grindelwald is or his history with Dumbledore, the ending of Fantastic Beasts is just confusing and leaves you thinking, oh, it's Johnny Depp after the big reveal.
Yeah, but that movie's garbage though, and Rogue One is like meh, and the prequels are excellent, and Monsters University is great.
I wouldn't call it great. I think it's
Monsters University is not the Last Jedi tier bad. And
it's not Last Jedi. It's not Alien Covenant or Prometheus.
I'm just trying to put something down that makes it obvious that it's not on the level of a really horrific movie like Alien Covenant or Crimes of Retard World.
Fan service here and there is fine, but when you are constantly relying upon a fan's knowledge of later films to understand.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't deal with this. Airborne, why is that? Why don't you like Monsters University?
I don't. Not that I don't like it. I just.
Do you think
it's okay?
Do you think it's unnecessary? Like we didn't need to get it, or it's just kind of childish how it puts the connections down?
I just think it's kind of. It's. I just think the story is just not as compelling as the first one. It's mostly about.
Great job wasting my time.
Okay.
No, you're the one who pressed the question when you didn't have to. Don't put this on me.
No,
Yeah.
you were,
What's wrong with you?
Airborne. You were talking about it as though it was like, it's like it insults the original. It's not.
Oh, I said it was okay. But
Oh.
I really like the ending, and I like Sully and I like Mike. I just think everybody else is just whatever. But like in the original
Guys,
Monsters
can
Inc.
you take a
but
look
like
at
in
NPC real quick?
You're,
like
you're-
in Monsters Inc. like all of the characters were great.
Okay, let's continue.
whatever. I
Understand
mean,
the prequels,
I can't
you
argue
have
with that. I guess.
completely invalidated the point of having a prequel. Now it's just
What?
a sequel, albeit a lame sequel that doesn't actually continue the story. Honestly, there are so many prequels that drop the ball with lazy plots, horrible inconsistencies, and constant fan
Stop showing good movies.
service with no attention to the story.
What?
Hey, that's absolutely
That I
true.
had completely written them off. That is, until I started watching a show called Better Call Saul.
So doesn't this like destroy your argument?
Fantastic prequels and how to make a good one. A nice title, nice
Well,
reference
you-
to that.
Well, you've
Fantastic
shown.
Beasts, yeah.
Well, Mister, you've shown multiple good ones. Monsters Inc., the
Star
prequels,
Wars prequels,
Hobbit.
the Hobbit. What was?
I
Was that
think
another one?
Bumblebee. I think Bumblebee.
Oh, yeah,
Well, it's a
Bumblebee, yeah,
reboot, but like
It's a reboot. It's a
I said it's a
reboot.
reboot. I said it was.
So like a good 5 of your examples are like excellent, and there were like 2 or 3 that were like really horrible, like 4, I think.
Alright, I admit, as stated at the beginning of the video, there are a handful of good prequels. X-Men First Class, The Godfather Part 2, Bumblebee, the new Planet of the Apes trilogy, The Dark Crystal Age
Bumblebee.
of Resistance, and the best prequel I have ever seen,
None of these films are nearly as good as some of the other ones you've shown earlier.
Better
Have you
Call
seen all
Saul,
of them?
the prequel series to Breaking Bad.
I fucking guarantee you they're on the same level. Like, how many films are better than The Hobbit or the Star Wars prequels? Not
I
that.
have not seen The Hobbit, so I can't see
yeah,
any. I
not-
would
not
say
that
a good 40 are better than the prequels.
Well, okay, look, if Lord of the Rings is in like top 5 best movies of all time,
Hey,
the
hey,
Hobbit is like somewhere in like the 20s or 40s or 60s.
Bad.
70s.
I'd also add to the list the original Hobbit book and Red Dead Redemption 2. While these are not TV shows or movies, they honestly do the whole prequel thing better.
Oh, he
Okay.
said that Hobbit is a prequel to Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings
So
is a sequel
what
to
do
The
all of
Hobbit.
these have in common? They have impeccable writing and directing, but many of them have some of the same qualities as bad prequels. They have
It's bad prequels.
You
Showing
unironically,
Bumblebee. Oh,
you unironically show me like one of the most epicest fucking things ever. Gen 1 generation, like Transformers in
My
like real
fucking god.
full scale CGI, and you're telling me it's a bad movie? Are you fucking
Okay,
kidding
so now he's saying that they
So the
share
person who makes
problems
this,
with bad prequels. So now you're distinguishing the fact that prequels aren't inherently bad. A lot of them just have problems that make them bad.
a lot?
yeah,
this
that's just
is-
complete bullshit. And I will say this till the day I die.
A lot of
What
prequels.
is wrong with you, man? You're contradicting yourself a lot.
A lot of prequels are made for money.
have fan servicey moments that an outsider wouldn't understand. Many of them create continuity issues for later installments. Most of them
yeah,
a
yeah,
reboot.
because
over-explain things that were never necessarily needed to be explained. So why do these stories work, whereas so many others fail? Is it because they're just better made? Well, that's
Fuck off. Fuck right off with that. Fuck right. I haven't seen that, and I won't. Well, maybe I'll see it if it's good. But
okay, question.
those movies you put down there, they are not better than the Star Wars prequels.
Okay,
You haven't seen them.
All right,
Okay.
let's
I
try
don't give a
to
shit.
let's try to.
Oh.
There's no fucking way they're even close to the prequels.
Alright.
I don't care. Like they're not. I've seen them, but you haven't.
Okay.
I don't give a shit.
Oh,
Come on, man.
Like,
Come
this is
on.
like taking the
Let's
Green
try to
Mile.
continue.
This is like taking the Green Mile and saying it's better than, like, I don't know, fucking saying it's better than Falling Down because it's more emotional.
certainly part of it, but not the whole of it. Let's take a look at Better Call Saul. Now, creating a prequel to Breaking Bad, possibly the best show ever created, is no
Yeah.
What? Honestly, I've never seen the show. I heard good things. I heard bad things about it. I don't. I'm not gonna take your word, Mister
Avatar
content creator.
Avatar: Last Airbender is better.
Okay.
Center Row is the guy who.
Breaking Bad looks and feels like an
Oh.
8 out of 10 series.
All right. Here's another a prequel that is bad. That's really disappointing. Fear the Walking Dead.
Thought you were gonna say Fear too.
Small feat. And yet, as the show has continued, I've found that in some ways,
All right. The other thing that I don't get is that Red Dead Redemption 2 has a sequel title, yet it's a prequel. Why is that?
This guy mixes up The Godfather 2, which is both a prequel and a sequel, with just being a prequel. So I think it's just his
It's a
intelligence.
pre-sequel.
Fucking
All
Christ.
right, let's try to get this video done.
Yeah,
without
I'm getting done with
it's
this
even
much
better.
more
The writing,
interruptions.
the directing, the story, it's magnificent. It deals with a lot of the same characters as Breaking Bad, bringing them back and giving them unnecessary origin stories, but very, very good origin stories. It would
very, very good unnecessary origin stories. What is wrong with your brain?
make fan servicey references, but they never stood out. Watching
Ah! Okay, so if I make a movie named what's the black guy that's really funny? His name is you know that guy that like voiced Mushu and like
Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, the funniest man.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, the funniest man alive. So if I make a movie series called, I don't know, Gangster House or something, and Eddie Murphy is the main character, and like I make a prequel to that called Gangster House -1.
No, better. No.
And it's like about his father or some shit, and then like somewhere in the middle, he's like born, you know, and it's like, oh well, the fat syrup is a reference. No. He was born, and his dad is there doing the similar shit to what he's doing. Okay, him existing would not be fan service. That would just be continuity. This guy doesn't understand the difference between continuity and fucking just fucking hell. I hate this so much. I hate this so much.
Call Saul seldom feels like you're watching the prequel to Breaking Bad, because it's not the prequel to Breaking Bad.
Wait.
Sure, it takes
Wait.
What do you mean? Yeah, of course it is the prequel to Break. Are you stupid?
Stop.
servicey
I was
references.
You literally just said it was.
but they never stood out. Watching Better Call Saul seldom feels
Hey, is that Voss from Far Cry 3?
I don't know.
No,
I have no idea.
It's the same. It's the same actor
it might be the model actor. Yeah, you're right.
and
guess-
the voice actor.
You can look it up, I guess, later.
like you're watching the prequel to Breaking Bad, because it's not the prequel to Breaking Bad. Sure,
Then what is it? If it's not
Yeah.
a prequel, then what is it?
I'm guessing those lines of, oh, it's its own story, so it's not a stupid prequel.
Oh god,
It's a different story, so it's not a prequel.
oh god, you shouldn't make sequels because movies like The Last Jedi exist. So all sequels are bad, and we shouldn't make them.
Why should I fall into the pitfalls of all bad sequels? It's made for money and it has fan service.
Except for episode 3 and 6, because those movies are so good. They're not sequels; they are newer films.
Sure, it takes place earlier in Breaking Bad's timeline, and sure, it features some of the same characters and world, but the
Oh
series
my
isn't
God!
What the fuck are you laughing about?
Sure, it features some of the same characters and world, but the
Sure, it's a prequel, but it's not really a prequel.
It's a prequel.
So to go
but
back,
it's not really.
So to go back to my Eddie Murphy Gangster House example, so what this guy would probably want is me to remove Eddie Murphy as a baby because he doesn't want any links to the original. And his father would like fake get his name in the last 2 seconds of the film, so like his whole name is bullshit, and nobody in the movie has anything to like. They all die. His whole family just dies. Like he actually had a family, and they were all characters, and they did this completely unrelated thing somewhere in Western Europe, and then they moved to America in the last second of the movie, and all got a heart attack collectively. What the fuck is this shit? The prequel has to feature a prequel has to feature characters from the original because we need to know how they got there. That's like the whole point of a prequel. This is like people saying that the Star Wars prequels are a bad idea because it ruins the "I am your father" thing. Like, yeah, no shit, it ruins that. But like, that's like a sacrifice you're gonna have to make for, explain what happened before. And if that kind of story is interesting, because there's lots of giant holes left open for why any of that was so important anyway, then
Besides, it ends up using if you watch it chronologically, it ends up using a quite a Shakespearean tactic that I found interesting, which is and I forget what it's called, but it's basically you show information to the audience that the characters don't know, and adds a sort of air of tension,
Yeah, like R2D2 or C3PO. They're introduced to the prequels without like a second thought about it, and it's crazy.
Series isn't about leading into Breaking Bad. It's about Saul.
Yeah, so then it's a terrible prequel. I'm like the movie is like I'm sure this guy is just being retarded and is raising this up just to throw all the things back down. So like this is probably way better than he's describing, which is a common trait among these kinds of fucking idiots. Sorry, I just got. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then it's a bad prequel. Case closed.
Saul and his emotional journey. You could watch Better Call Saul and you would never need to watch Breaking Bad to understand it. Yes, there are references and
you don't need to watch the OT to understand the prequels.
Callbacks, but none of them draw attention to themselves. I might watch a
regular droid, and that means it's bad. and your
C-3PO was made by Darth Vader, so that means he's bad.
And how do you screw up the backstory of Star Wars? It's like screwing up mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Boiled water.
I still don't know who the main characters are, do you?
And the problem with the prequels is that they will be around forever.
No, I haven't seen them yet because prequels are bad. I haven't even watched it.
and think, oh my gosh, it's Tuco. But to the uninitiated, he's reintroduced like he's a new character. Better Call Saul works because it's its own story, not just an extension of another.
You mean like the prequels, like The Hobbit, like Monsters University, like like Rogue One?
Yeah, Rogue One is kind of derivative, but
yeah, I know, but I'm including it just because he's showing Alien Covenant too. Like, there's a difference. I'm so sick of this guy.
It's much more of a spin-off than a prequel. And this is the common thread amongst all good prequels. They aren't...
Okay, so why is the video titled The Problem with Prequels? Why isn't the video titled The Problem with Bad, like, movies that come before others?
Why bad prequels are bad?
Fuck this guy. I hate him so much. This argument, let me reverse this. I already did it before, but I need to stress this to my audience here. All right, I'm gonna be Mr. I don't know what his name is, but I'll just be like the opposite of that. All right, guys, the sequels are bad because The Last Jedi came out, which means that all sequels are garbage because they all try to increase and continue a story without building on the previous one, like The Last Jedi does. It just does its own thing, just like any other movie, like Lord of the Rings 2 or Episode 2 or 3. Like all sequels are bad because they all don't do anything
You
Yeah,
know?
Terminator. Fuck Terminator 2. Am I right?
Fuck Predator 2. Fuck all those movies are all bad.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest,
Probably.
worst movie of all time.
Except for The Rise of Skywalker, which actually did improve things from The Last Jedi. And it's such a great movie, and I love it so much. Yay.
I'm pretty sure you only like it because it just retconned The Last Jedi all to hell.
No,
Yeah,
he doesn't
that's-
even like. He doesn't even like Rise of Skywalker.
No, I'm playing a retarded character here.
Or One Punch Man season 2.
Okay,
It wasn't as good as the first one, so I guess that means
So
because it
therefore,
was a
the future
sequel.
seasons will always be good.
Yeah, you see.
I guess that since it was a sequel, that means it's bad, even though it's like. No, I actually like. No, I actually really like One Punch Man season 2. I just think the animation's shit.
I've got a brilliant here.
What is it?
I've got something
What is
brilliant. A good sequel is
What?
not a sequel. It's a new movie that brings new things to the.
It's more of a spin-off than a actual sequel.
And it's more of a spin-off than a other prequel movie.
It's more of a spin-off that adds more to the original.
Slaves to
Story.
what came before. They do their own thing. The new Planet of the Apes movies aren't about a young Charlton Heston. They're about the collapse of civilization and a war between two species. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't the story of a young John Marston, it's the story of Arthur Morgan and his journey. John is just a side character in his story. X-Men first.
Yeah, but like, if that is like done well, then we can kind of. I the Arthur Morgan, like, I'm just going to assume something here. It's probably not true, but Arthur Morgan, maybe he's like the son of the bad guy of the first game. On that case, that still ties into that, you know.
Good prequel, not a prequel, spin-off film.
If we see like the main character of the previous game see some bad shit happening, and he literally goes like. He literally goes like, huh, and we like understand his actions in the first one. Like, would that then be bad? If we literally see that for like 5 seconds, and the rest is nothing to do with him. Like, he's literally just generic NPC bad guy that stands. Like, he's literally just generic guy who stands next. Like, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like Last of Us 2, when a generic NPC surgeon has now become the main cause of fucking story. Like they even look the same. Like the guy was trying to kill Joel, and then Last of Us 2, then Retcon's like, oh, please don't kill me. I'm just a surgeon trying to save the world.
I mean, I do have to defend. Well, I'm not defending I'll correct you on it a little bit. He does not necessarily threaten Joel. He's just like, if you want to take Allie, you have to go through me. Essentially, think of all the lives we can save. Blah blah blah. And so, and then Joel.
I don't really remember that.
And then Joel shoots him in the foot, and he doesn't die. And the Last of Us 2 doesn't happen. You could shoot him in the foot, and then that doesn't count as a kill in the game's code. Like, the game has a kill counter.
Non-canon ending, I guess.
No, the canon ending.
First Class isn't a movie devoted to explaining the origins of X-Men. It's a story.
Yeah, why? Okay, why didn't? Okay. Why didn't Last of Us 2 had a choice in the ending? Where can Ellie kill Abby?
No, honestly, no. That shouldn't even been a choice. Ellie should have absolutely killed Abby. She was literally, she brutally murders people that have nothing to do with Joel's death. She can't kill the culprit.
Can I just say that I find it funny, like just as like a little bit of a side tangent about The Last of Us 2 for a bit. I gotta say, I find it funny how they introduce how, like, Abby's friends are all part of like a coordinated, like, you know.
I'm actually gonna leave and then come back. I'll see you guys later.
Oh god, we're almost finishing this. So.
Replica sucks and is a moron.
We're gonna take this out of context.
Fuck you.
Yeah, Republic sucks in is a moron. Lol. Sorry.
One second.
What?
All right, there we go. So yeah, but like I love how that show has fuck off, Lupus. I like how that show has an I mean that game, like they have a coordinated group of people working together as like a semi society, and Ellie is just allowed to slaughter them. Like I love that scene where that Nora girl is just like, oh, look at all these body bags from our guys that died. And just like, yeah, maybe we should do something about that, guys. Maybe we should do something about that. Like, it's
it's bold storytelling.
Like let me tell you something. If I was like a part of like a group of people and there was like say 50 of us, and out of the blue, I would get like 6 body bags from this person that like my allies say they didn't caught. I'd be like, okay, we take like a third of all of us, like a good like 13, 20 men, and we're going to hunt that motherfucker down. It's
shut up. It's bold storytelling.
Like in a lot of games,
it's bold storytelling. Okay.
Oh my god! In a lot of games, you kill like a lot of the bad guys, and I always wonder why don't they try and like stop me by sending just 50 guys at once? But the thing is, you don't know what's happening, and I love how in The Last of Us 2 they just like, oh yeah, like yeah, they're all dying. We're kind of just sort of worried about it. We're not actually gonna like do something about it.
It's bold storytelling.
Fuck you, Airport. You're like the worst person in the world. I know you're putting on an act, but oh my god, it's so annoying to hear because it's nothing, you know. It's not even like, well, you know, maybe that's just how that goes because she kills all of them. No, it's just like it's bold storytelling.
Bold storytelling, man. I don't know how to explain it.
All right, let's move on. Oh, but before we move on, I will say that if like these movies are probably like a million times better than what he describes, but if this is like actually what these films are, then they're bad prequels.
About 2 friends slowly turning into enemies. Sure, the X-Men are formed in the movies, but that's not what it's about. And you can see this.
It's probably what it's about.
That's not what it's
parts
about.
of flawed remakes too. If Fantastic Beasts had just focused on telling the story of Newt, it could have been great. There's a
Oh, fuck off, you
made
retard.
cut of the Hobbit trilogy called the Tolkien Cut, which strips away all of the Lord of the Rings references and everything but the original contents of the book.
That sounds fucking well. I mean, maybe that's good, but that sounds retarded though, because the Lord of the Rings connected to it, and that makes it feel more connected to it.
Oh, it's bad.
I will watch the Tolkien cut because I do feel like they're
okay, but like the prequels. The prequels aren't about thing is the original trilogy happening. It's about Anakin's fall to the dark side.
Yeah. This is all annoying.
Book, and you know, much improved. And the Star Wars prequels are at their best when focused on telling the stories of Anakin and Obi-Wan's friendship. When the
oh my god, he actually said it.
Oh wait, no, he didn't say it.
Prequels take the chance to move in new directions. That's when they work amazingly well.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Okay. Let's go back to my gangster house example thing. So in the third movie, Eddie Murphy fights the gangster called the Big G, and in the prequel I make when I'm like 45 because I'm the director, then we're going to have the Big G in the prequel, and his dad is like a genuine dickhead to him and fucks him over. You know what? Let's have him shoot his dad. And then it's like, oh, well, now we get why the Big G wants to kill him so gladly, and why he hates him that much. Because like in my movie, he'll hate him that much, like ridiculously so. Like just he gets angry when he sees a picture of him. Like just like it, like just that level of just. I mean, prequels need to explain shit about what happens in the previous movies. Otherwise, they fail as movies, and they're just some spin-off from something that happened earlier.
That's not really. It's not really a problem.
Airborne. What is the point of a prequel? To create something that happened before what we see in another.
Okay,
thing.
but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to directly connect to what
I mean, that's a spin-off.
what it was.
Like a prequel
Okay.
is like a precursor to things happening later.
Then you're just quibbling over the title.
Well, this guy talks about spin-offs, and he says that is what prequel should be. I guess prequel spin-off. Pre-ops. Like, the reason this pisses me off is that, the most interesting part about the prequels is watching how all of it transitions towards the OT. Like, how Palpatine corrupts everything and makes it become like that's what makes it interesting. This is I hate this so much. This is stupid.
So I still kind of hate prequels as a concept for all.
Yeah, awesome, cool story.
For
But
retarded
you've only had problems with the execution. You've never even brought up a concept. It's like, oh, bad. Besides the fact that the only genuine concept that you've brought up, that is actually like accurate, is that you know how they end. But that's not a problem.
You show good movies and then horrifically bad movies, and then you say that they're all bad. That's really the problem with this fucking review. Is that, this video.
No. One of the problems.
For all the reasons I stated previously. I just don't think they're generally good ideas.
Wow,
There's
that's
more
pretty
room
good
to
CGI.
explore new material in sequels or in entirely original content.
But sequels run the risk of completely ruining them way more than the prequels, so I guess sequels are conceptually bad.
Oh my god. Serious.
And now when you watch the sequels, you already know how the originals end.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that prequels always have to be bad. Prequels can be great. Prequels aren't at their best when they're filled with nostalgia bait or
What a useless fucking video.
callbacks. Prequels aren't at their best when they're servicing a large fan base. Prequels are only at their best when they're devoted solely to telling a new story. A good
What the what? I don't give a shit. Get to the
story
end.
in a familiar world. And if we must have prequels, I hope we get a few more prequels like that.
Yes, let's get prequels that literally don't even go into literally film fix Star Wars prequels. Well, that's another video we're gonna have to fucking cover.
He made a far longer fix for the sequel, so it's clear he doesn't like them. He doesn't like them as much as the sequels.
Hey, is that? Oh, wait. Look, homogenization. Is it made by the same?
Homogenization.
So this guy is both a genius and a fucking idiot. Great.
It's just dead wrong. Like, the vast majority of movies he put down here were not bad, and
even if you were to say, even if you said like, oh, they were good, they just had prequel problems. Like, no, none of these things are problems.
Okay, fuck this shit. I'm leaving.
Goodbye. We love your presence here.
Ata, Visium.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm gonna go work on my.
Hold
my
up.
work.
Stay for a bit until we end it. Like, his criteria for a good prequel is essentially just a spin-off that happens before. That's not a good prequel.
Yeah. Well, why isn't it a good prequel?
Because it's a spin-off.
Objectively speaking.
It's a prequel. Michael, does a movie that come before another movie that has nothing to do with the other one is basically a spin-off?
Well, the ones that you mentioned don't have nothing to do with the other ones. See, that's what they have less to do with the other ones than most.
Well, it's like a minor element, but like it's sort of like what Belated Media did with Anakin's like he made Anakin's fall like a subplot, and we see how good that turned out to be.
What's the question?
All right, so
I mean,
Michael,
Anakin's fault isn't really like directly tied to the originals until the final film.
it's
Wait,
directly tied.
what's the question?
All right, Michael, is a movie that is a prequel to another, but it's really not so much of a prequel as it is a spin-off that happens earlier that only has a minor connection to the original at best. Does that constitute as a good prequel?
If it's a spin-off, if it's like mostly a spin-off, then it's a spin-off and it's not.
If I make a movie about black people tap dancing for 10 hours, and then in the prequel they are doing break dancing, and it's white people, like is that a good prequel?
No.
That's a pretty vast oversimplification of the idea.
Well, that's essentially what he's saying, because it's still a movie about people dancing for 10 hours.
Guess who's back again? Deviant's back. Tell a friend.
Hey, Deviant's
Hi,
back.
Deviant.
This,
You came back at the end of the podcast.
Wait, are you guys done, are you guys done with the podcast?
We're almost done. But it's like I know it's a little bit of an oversimplification, Airborne, but like that's at least how I see it. This doesn't. Oh God, it's Grammy Hammy. I can ask a question to him too. Grammy.
What's the point of asking? It's because they say that it's not a good prequel. That is not going to change my mind.
Do I need to brainwash you? Do I need to like put you in a machine and then change your head?
Questioning.
Well, I don't know. Either way,
Because it's a prequel, it's a spin-off, boomers.
Look, everyone like
Black Tap Dancers, directed by Replica Films, coming to theaters in 2030.
2030.
Yes. It took us a decade to recover from 2020. The world is now irradiated. The Pacific Ocean is now filled with plastic, and America has officially become a monarchy. What happened to the world?
That would be a positive change, to be honest.
What?
I'll take a king over a retarded president any day. Donald Trump can become the first king. Anyway,
What if we get a retarded king?
But then we can like hang the retarded king.
Did you
like,
really think that I would ever let you go? Do you really think I'd set you free?
Grammy, we're still having a stream. Just calm down.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah. Anyway, Lupus ends the stream. People, thanks for watching and
Thank you guys
have
for
a nice
watching.
day.
What is this?
And survive 2020, please.
Bleh, bleh, bleh.